Doctor. We have returned of our I should point out that we billboarded a guest to be on tonight's show that is not with us. Very glamorous, exciting country western singer, Dolly Parton. And she came down with the flu, and she was very nice. She's a lovely girl. She called today and said she was very sorry that she had to cancel. And she's going to be with us, I think, on December the 14th, if I recall. And we told her to get well. So quickly, we had to get somebody to fill in. And so we called in somebody we knew would probably be at home with nothing to do. So would you please welcome the dependable, sincere, and really nice Charles Nelson Reilly.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? It's nice
Wonderful.
to see you.
And you were nice enough to bring Dolly's album
Well,
out,
sure.
which she would have shown tonight.
I didn't know which pictures to use on the cover, so I used all three.
Dolly Parton. Yeah, she's quite a young lady.
Good singer. Good entertainer. She takes a chance. She takes a risk. That's why she's good. She is an original.
That's true.
And
so
I
are
like
you.
her very much. Well, I'll put it here with the other thing. It's a
right.
good album. Here You Come Again, it's called.
All right.
And it's produced by Gary Klein.
That's not necessary.
And it's special thanks for the inspiration of Charles Kopelman. Whoever the hell he is. That's what it says in the thing.
You are dressed again to, you're dressed to the nines, as they said.
It's the only thing I have.
Where did that expression come from? Does anybody know? Dressed to the nines?
Do we find out where turkey came from? I was up all
We
night
never
a couple
found
of
out where
nights
that
ago.
expression.
A bad show is a turkey and dressed to the
I told
nines.
you that, the answer to that, many years ago.
Well, we discussed it, but you were gone the
All
other
right,
night.
because on Thanksgiving
That's
night...
what we discussed. You have
In
to
the
go no
theater.
further. But nobody knew that.
But no one knew what it
I
meant.
know it, and I told you, so now you know it.
It's Kurt tonight, isn't he?
Yes,
No,
he
no.
is.
That's 2 out of 210
He's doing film.
million.
He's
No.
doing films on the
No,
outside,
that's-
you know.
Oh, I know.
The more films you do, the
that's
credit he
supposed
gets.
to be right, that audience was a tough audience because they were filled with turkey. Therefore, the play was a turkey
Well, we
night.
don't know if
But
that
I didn't
originated
buy that.
way.
I heard you say that.
Yeah.
You did it lovely.
Thank you.
But I didn't buy that for some reason.
How about dressed to the nines?
I don't know either. This is just a little thing I got, you know.
Yeah. Well, look, you came in as a last-minute replacement.
That's all right.
and I think
My
it's very
career,
nice. No, I'm
No.
delighted you're here, and I didn't have time to really get any questions.
Only
but I have
call
the-
I got this week. What I'm
I have
sorry.
the questions I was going to ask Dolly Parton, so I
You're
just
gonna
thought
ask-
I would ask them
You're
of
going to
you.
ask what?
I'd ask you the same questions I would ask Dolly Parton.
All right, if it makes it easy for you. No, I know you're here only a few nights a week. I don't want to confuse things. You could ask me whatever you
Hostile
want.
forces are
no, but
gathering
this
on the
is
horizon.
this is all. It's the weather and all the strange Santa Ana winds.
That's what
Oh,
that...
I know. Here's a question I would ask Dolly Parton, because she always talks about it. She says she has a variety, something like 100 or 150 different wigs when she performs. Is that a problem when you perform?
Would you repeat the question?
Is a problem carrying all of those wigs? You have to have little wig boxes and little heads to put
Well,
them
I
on?
don't have one wig box. See, and I don't wear a wig when I perform. But I wear a wig all the time. I mean, I get up in the morning, I put on the coffee first, and this goes on, you see.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of wigs. I have this one. $1,900, you don't buy 12.
I don't want people to think that I'm cruel in referring to this, because you have referred to
No,
it.
I have referred to it the last time I was on.
Yes, so I
this
didn't
is
want them to
held
think-
on. It is artificial.
I didn't want them
It
to
is
think I was
held
being
on.
cruel.
No, you're not cruel. You're a lovely host and a legend in your own time.
Thank you.
But it's true. But the thing is, this is held on by 3 pieces of invisible tape.
Right.
And it's, I just have one. I don't have, one for this. And people, a lot of guys have long, short crew
Really?
cuts. Yeah, some guys
Like
have...
when they need to make it look like they need a haircut, and then they go in and put on the shorter one?
Oh, yeah. And then they have some with, they really do dandruff and all of that
They
stuff.
come with a little box of dandruff?
They have
too?
everything. Then the other guys, one guy I has it, a friend of mine has it, it's got 3, 1, 2, and 3. Calls them 1, 2, and 3.
Good,
and
good.
Well, good for the, like this is 1, 2, 3 is for the exercise class and the meditation and all that stuff.
Right.
So you don't, and for the beach.
Right.
And you change them. I haven't got time. I don't brush my teeth. I don't take care of myself. I got one thing. The 3 pieces of tape go on. It goes on. I say hello to the mailman. He doesn't know. And I'm ready for the rest of the
You've
day.
never picked up the male sans hair?
No, I don't. It's funny. It's very funny. I used to have it sewed into my head permanently.
I didn't know.
But it was a suture process, which was very comfortable. It was wonderful. And then you never took it off.
Right.
5 years I had it that way. Then one day I thought I was working out of town in a play, and the sutures were giving me trouble, so I said, back to tape. I'm going to go on tape. So what happened was, when you have it permanently on your head, you don't have a toupee. You see, you forget it. It's there permanently.
That's right.
But when you got it in the palm of your hand, and you're combing it, trying to keep it away from the dog, suddenly it dawns on you that possibly you have and must accept at this time in your life artificial hair. Now, see, Dolly looks great in it, and, you know, so that's okay.
It becomes a costume for her.
Yeah, and we also try to encourage people who are balding or losing hair to, you know, if it looks real. It's very funny. The doctor that put it on my head said it will never come off, no matter what.
Well, that's nice to know.
So I made a pilot film once, and I didn't read the script carefully. You know what I mean? And I was in the hotel, and I went down to the lobby to do the shots. It was with Karen Ballantyne in New York, and it was snowing. And so I'm in the lobby, and the man said, well, we can't do the scene we wanted to do at the ice skating arena, so we'll do all your helicopter shots. I said, what? I never read it. So I went on 2 helicopters all day, and the second helicopter was in Sheep's Meadow, and I'm standing in the snow, and I had a line that said, you never can get a helicopter when you want one. Oh, there's one. And it landed next to me, a big helicopter.
You're basically big.
Large, you're largy. And the doctor said that nothing will take this hair off.
Except?
Now, so as it comes down, Karen Ballantyne is doing the scene with me, blows away in the snow, and there's 2 shoes in the snow, and she's down the hill. Then I thought possibly this could be the day when the doctor was mistaken. So I said, can we stop just for a moment, please? I have to discuss something with the director. So I discussed with the director the simple fact that maybe if I held a hair tight,
right,
it would look like I was concerned about my hairdo rather than...
And it would be natural with a helicopter
like
there.
this, I sort of would, you know, just casually holding it. But the thing was, everything blew away, but the hair stayed on. And when you see the film, it never sold. Nothing I ever did ever sold. You know what I mean?
Have you made other pilot films for television?
Every week I make a pilot film.
Do you remember the names of any of them?
I made one once. I forgot the name, but it was at Universal. It was about The Ghost Goes West, and I was the ghost. Right. And I remember I had to climb a high chandelier and go in the chandelier with, and I had high heel shoes. It was a period piece. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so I got up in the thing, and they yelled, lunch! And I was left up in lunch for about 45 minutes. But I and then there was a period in television in all through the 60s and early 70s, where they thought, get Reilly, he'll goose up the series. You know, as the neighbor next door.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was
boss,
that period,
right.
yeah. And every time I got on one, it went off. And finally, after 8 years, they said, he's not really goosing them too well. Off right away.
Did you ever think of not wearing the hair sometime and think of the different roles you could play? When they wanted an older or that kind, you could remove the hair.
Why don't you save that question for Dolly Parton?
And play a character role, you see?
Well, I couldn't do that, my image. Right. If you open a door, something could happen. It could go right off.
All right. We're going to be back and continue this interview and other things in just a moment. Our guests tonight are Mark Hamill, greetings, Fordor, Dr. William A. Nolan, and Dolly Parton on my right. And you were very nice, Tom. I want to thank you for coming in at the last minute.
It's wonderful.
And jumping in here and helping us out tonight.
My pleasure, anytime.
And as I said, I had a couple of questions I was going to ask Dolly, so just pretend you're Dolly. Because
I
remember.
To lean forward a little.
Yes,
right.
well, not too far, or they'll get out the seismograph. I understand you were the 4th of 12 children from a poor Tennessee family, and you're part Dutch, Irish, and Cherokee Indian.
Close. I come from a family of 1, just me, and it's close. Swedish and Irish.
You're Swedish and Irish?
Yes.
Oh, did you ever follow your genealogy back?
No, it's for some reason I don't care. I don't know why.
A lot of people
My cousins do. They go to Sweden and they search and search. I don't know. I haven't had time.
Reilly sounds more Irish.
Reilly, my father was Irish. My mother's birthday is today. She's 81 today. November.
Right?
Yes.
Well, happy birthday.
November 30th.
Happy birthday. That's very nice.
She's a funny lady.
What was her maiden name?
Nelson, my middle name.
No, that's Swedish, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't ever live in Minnesota, did you? When I lived in
No.
Nebraska,
Connecticut.
Minnesota has a very large...
Connecticut. But we were
Swedish
very
population.
poor.
Yeah. Were you poor?
Very poor.
How poor were you?
Well, we had no money at all. We had no heat. I didn't have heat till I was 30. And that's true.
Oh, come on.
Now, see, you say, come on. Dolly Parton had all the brothers. They went out, they got wood. It was hot. No matter how poor they were, it was hot.
Right.
We did not have heat. We had a little stove in the kitchen that you put oil in. And I didn't get my first radiator till I was 30 years old. And I just looked at it, and I kept it on August, September, October. Sure, I never...
It gets cold in Connecticut, too.
Oh, it's freezing, yeah.
So
we never had very much.
Well,
Never
I'm
did.
sorry, I didn't know that.
No, but now it's better. It pays off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can't appreciate anything unless you have been without.
No. Then, you see, I always cast my family. You should always cast. You know, you cast the family. Like, my mother would be Shirley Booth, my father, Frederick March.
Right.
My uncle would be Ed Begley, and my aunt, Claire Trevor. And I'm Wally Cox as a child. Like that, you see.
Yeah.
You do it. And the parts were too good. Like, my uncle would go out every night. We lived 7 of us, and my grandfather and my grandmother in a 2.5-room apartment in Hartford. Tell that to your Dolly Partons. They had everything, those people. They had acres over there.
Really, and you didn't
With
share
2.5 rooms, and a lot of fish sticks. That's all we had was fish sticks. So my uncle, first of all, they always thought I was odd.
Really?
You know what? I was odd.
Because you wanted to be in show business, you mean?
Well, I had different ideas. I had big ideas. Get away from those big notions. So I took my humble place in the 2.5 rooms with my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncle, my aunt, my mother, and my father.
In 2.5
Well, you took a number off the wall and you got a chance at the bed. It was wonderful. And then what happened was they would stand in the doorway, and I couldn't see as a child. Now, these are true. Tell these to your Dolly Parton's
Couldn't
brothers
see
who had
either?
good eyesight from the fresh air. All right?
You were up in the woods going,
I didn't
where's
know.
the
First
house?
of all, people don't understand that when you're young, you don't know how you're supposed to see. You can't say, oh, I see badly, because you think this is it. You understand? You don't
Unless
know.
somebody else tells you.
Well, they can't tell you. You got to see it. Then at the age of 17, when the damage is done and the pain is continuing, I'll get through this.
Did you ever think...
You go to the doctor.
Well, did you ever occur to you that you might have had a radiator, but you couldn't see it?
I love you. No, we didn't.
You just didn't know where it was.
Because you see, you developed a sense of heat. You would be more susceptible to know there was something there.
Of course, you...
So then when you
Intuitively.
when you go to the teacher says, I think maybe the kid needs glasses. You know what I mean?
That's really kind of bad.
Well, it's true because you don't know.
It's like hearing.
And when you wake up, yes, you wake up and you can't see the bureau or the clock. You don't know what time it is. And then you go to a doctor and he says, I'm going to try number 5. And you go like this, you go, holy, wow.
Mommy!
Wow, is this what it's supposed to be? But until that time, so I never was sports-like. You know what I mean? I never played sports because I couldn't see the ball. I barely could see the schoolyard.
Well, didn't you know when you couldn't see the ball?
Well, I
That you
figured...
couldn't see?
No, I could see softball. I was good with softball. I was terrific with softball, but that's kind of a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't do too good. So anyway, my uncle and everyone would stand in the door, my aunt, and they would say to me, boy, that kid is odd. My father would say to me, and I was sewing puppets, you know, close, like this. I was sewing puppets. There was nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you were just close.
You know what I mean? So my father would say, his big line was, why don't you go out and throw a ball around? You know what I mean? And I would go. I could see the thread. So anyway, this went on. I was strange. Do you understand what I mean?
I think I'm getting the picture.
And then what happened
that
was...
hurts, doesn't it? When you hear people say the boy is odd, that hurts, right?
Well, I
You
could
didn't
tell you.
know.
So I have a book that I'm writing that's coming out that will tell, you know, it's a very... But I mean, I think all comedians go through a lot of pain. And it's my mother's birthday, so you think of all the funny things. It was difficult.
But basically...
It was not too good. You know what I mean? But then you have dreams, you know. But it's true, I didn't have a radiator until I was 30. So anyway, 2 years ago, I'll get the end of this segment.
Okay.
We'll go out with a laugh.
Don't hurry. Why don't
They
you go-
always would say I was odd. You know, and now, for instance, I used to play the accordion. Now, Eugene
that's not
Fedor.
odd. That's not odd.
That's not odd. Did you ever see a kid say, Mommy, could I have an accordion? Check around this Christmas.
No, usually it's forced on
You know what I mean? When did you say, I'll wait for the accordion, gift wrap it, please? Did you ever buy? Did anyone buy an accordion? Wally and Wallace Welk. No, but I mean, I had an accordion and I was thin.
Did you want an accordion?
No, the guy next door played it, and my mother said, give him an accordion. So I had an accordion, and it was heavy, and I couldn't carry it, and I couldn't stand up. So I had a sled, and I pulled this with no heat. I had a sled, and I pulled this accordion, and I played all this accordion. So anyway, to make
the accordion around on the sled?
Yeah, and then I went with a girl, Ruth Senkel.
Ruth Senkel.
Who used to play the flute. Now, she would whip out the flute from her pocketbook, do a couple of cadenzas, and the house would come down at every school function. By that time, I'm halfway up the hill with a hernia, and the accordion is on the thing. And I play my thing, and I get a mild applause. Now, wait a minute. A mild applause.
Did you do Lady of Spain?
No, my big one was 2 guitars by Monty and Americana. But anyway, to make a long story short...
It's too late for that
To tie it up now... To tie it up, 2 years ago, I have to bring an old story. I don't like to repeat myself.
No.
But 2 years ago, when we were gas rationed, right? Remember, we had to go...
Sure,
we were either odd or...
Oh, you're talking about clear back to World War II?
Yes, no, just 2 years ago. We had the ration.
Oh, odd or even, the days when you could buy gas. Yes.
Odd or even.
Right.
That's another thing that's funny. So anyway, I went to the gas station. I got another one. I went to the gas station, and the guy said to me, okay, are you odd or even? I said, you won't believe this, but I'm 44, and until today, I was odd. Now I'm even, fill it up. But the other thing, wait. I forgot what I was going to I forgot. It went away.
That's a wonderful story.
Oh, it's true.
I did not know. I did not know to this moment you had such a traumatic childhood. We've all had our little...
No, I don't remember my childhood. It went away. I mean, I can't say what the first little bunny rabbit
Well, you
looked
remember
like.
that accordion on the sled.
These people write books like Lillian Hellman and Mrs. Lindbergh about their second birthday. And Aunt Louise wore a blue dress with white pearls. Yeah. How the hell can you remember your second birthday? And they only come up for 3 years, and that's 2 books. I'm 46, and I haven't got the frontispiece. You know what I mean?
You're odd. We'll be right back after this. Oh, that's wonderful.